Do your eyes still hurt?
From yesterday?
What? Yeah.
From your
From the
seizure-inducing animation that we went through?
It was glorious. I think I would watch it again if I were high. Definitely. Or some sort of other drug. I think it would make it trippier.
It probably would.
Or it would give me a seizure. For sure.
This is when we figure he has epilepsy.
Ah, shit.
I'm always worried, like, because I've always heard about, having epilepsy, and I'm like, I know I don't have it, but what if I do?
I mean, some of them come through, like, stress. Like, severe amounts of stress, and then you just fucking...
Because I know, like, at concerts, when they fucking flash the lights, I'm like, I'm going to close my eyes for, like, 10 seconds, because I don't trust it, just in case.
It gets really gnarly. Like, when we went to go watch BTSM, yeah, that lighting was, it was intense.
Yikes.
It was pretty intense.
So if you have epilepsy, do you just not go to concerts?
No.
Probably not.
Just avoid it.
Because it'd be sound and strobing lights at that point. That's just a lot of stress on your body. Trust me, when they do the fucking, like, you go to a rock concert and you hear the fucking bass and you're like, I can feel my heart.
No,
like,
the best is when you feel your pants.
Your pants like vibrate. Or like,
Or like you feel the air coming from the woofer.
Who wears pants at a concert? It's like 3,000 degrees. I'd be nude like the rest of the people there dancing. Like, these people are smart.
I don't want to touch other people's sweat.
Yeah, we deal with it.
It's disgusting.
It happens.
Sometimes you stick your tongue out and you just like lick someone by accident. It's just over.
At least you haven't poked someone in the eye before you're like dancing and you just.
Have you done this?
No, that was close. Because tall people always around me. I'm
worse.
like, fuck.
It could be like my sister's friend who got elbowed
and
then she puked.
Amy?
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, I know you were there. That's what I'm saying. I remember.
That's why I moved to the back. Because there were such assholes.
Yeah, it got pretty.
I've learned the back is the way to go. Every time I go up with them, it's just not good.
I learned that 21 and over section is the way to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't 21 at the time, though.
No. I was, I think.
You were, I think.
But yeah, it was a gnarly ride. I don't know. I do kind of like being in the thick of it when we go see Coheed and stuff, though.
Yeah.
You just get fucked because you're always right next to the mosh.
Yeah.
You attract the moshes.
I probably do. I have that look. He's like, he wants to fight everyone. Like, no, not really.
He's giving me New Jersey vibes.
Yeah. He can sense all that unbridled, like, northeastern rage.
I was like, fuck, I'm going to go in the back. It's fine. It's a concert. I don't give two shits anymore.
Walking here.
You don't want to be in the middle. The middle's the worst section because that's where all the fucking surfers are. Yeah. So 90% of the concert, you're like, okay, where's the asshole? Or you get kicked in the back of the head. Haven't done that yet because I never go to the middle. I'm like, fuck that. We got to go to the right or the left.
Yeah, that's usual.
No one goes there.
The front gets a little hefty. Like if you're by the
rail?
fence, the rail or whatever, and everyone just pushes you, like, shit, my chest is about to just.
Yeah.
It can be like we had a concert here. I can't remember. Oh, my nephew went, and the rail broke.
What?
They broke the rail.
Was he like guarding or
no?
He was at the
he was at the concert. They broke the rail. I think it was like an Excision concert.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to break the rail because all you have to do is technically have the crew, because it's like a wall, and then it's a flat platform where technically what's holding all the weight for the rail is the flat platform.
Yeah.
Which is your bodies. So if you have people that push and the people behind you step off it, it's just going downwards. There's nothing you can do.
Dude,
You're holding up the rail.
I feel so bad for the security guards that have to make eye contact with the people at all times.
I mean, it depends, right? Sometimes you get the cool ones.
Well,
but I feel sorry. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them.
It's like you always see the guys like surfing, and then they have to fucking rip them out of their hands. They're like, "Wicked!" You're like, "Damn, he's fucking swanton bombing that dude off the top of someone's head." It's like, okay.
Speaking of concerts, welcome to another episode. I am your host today, Bob. I have Eddie on my right, Forrest on my left. What is that?
Wait, this is your left.
Yes.
Okay, so you make an L?
Wait, does that mean you had two L's there for a second? You got two lefts?
I have two lefts.
Huh. But
like
people
B
on
and D?
Spotify
Like,
won't know.
Oh yeah. If I don't know why you're listening to us on Spotify, you should watch us on YouTube.
Do both.
Do both. No, upside down.
Upside.
Anyway, so I'm gonna say, I'll say this one is our season 2 because I finally got a gift for everyone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's the final thing. We'll do a little unboxing for you guys. Here you go. Since you're the host,
Are we unboxing it today?
Yeah.
Right now?
Right now. Just open it up, rip it out, and slam it on the table.
It has some holy hands. I don't know.
It does have some holy hands. Is this the?
If you're listening to this,
is
you're
this
awesome.
the lobster?
Oh my
Oh
god.
no!
Better yet.
Better.
No, lobster ain't coming for a while.
It's the almighty.
The Almighty, our Lord and Savior, Nicolas Cage.
Speaking of Lord and Savior.
Is he God?
We're gonna set that right there.
He is God.
Imagine if it was his face instead of that creepy one before we get too far into it.
Oh, dude, can we edit that movie instead of...
This is so good.
I think it smells pretty good too. I popped it open at some
Oh, is
point
it?
to make sure, yeah.
I kind of want to spell it, but not right now.
Oh, dude, instead of Lilith, it's fucking Nicolas Cage on the cross. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Nicolas Cage smells good. That's Nicolas Cage's sweat smell.
You know, I wouldn't mind.
That's some good sweat smell right there.
Where did you get that?
I found it on Amazon.
Oh.
Right there. That's fine. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I saw it. I'm like, because I ordered it 2 weeks ago, but it's not a normal seller.
Oh, God.
So when I got it, I'm like, oh, it took 2 weeks. Not bad. And we got a coupon to buy another one.
Ooh.
If you're watching on YouTube, as you can guess, we're talking about Gundam for their shirts.
Obviously.
Obviously.
If I had a Gundam shirt, I would have worn it. But I don't. So I had to match the theme.
We're gonna talk about Evangelion. The new movie just came out yesterday.
Well, what's it called? 3.0 plus 1.
Plus 1.0.
Thrice
Thrice Upon a Time.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny when that title was announced. I'm just like, my man.
Oh, it's it's 1.0.1. Or 1.01.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot about the little weird one that they added.
3.33 or whatever.
Fuck the names. I never understood them.
The 1.11 and then 2.22, 3.33.
See, but there was a 3.0 first, and then there was a 3.33. So what was the difference?
Director's cut.
Yeah.
Theatrical release was 3.0.
Makes sense.
I think this was their theatrical release too. Like,
unfortunately, I've never seen one of the Evangelion movies on the theater. I couldn't wait for the third one, so I bootlegged it. And it was like at a weird angle. They would film it from
the guy's filming it from his chest. He's like, "What's a popcorn?"
And I watched it back in 2012.
Okay, I've done
Somehow I found it online. I'm like, can't wait until it gets here. Like 3 years later.
Was it even dubbed? Or sorry,
it was
subtitles.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm surprised they actually had it subtitled.
Me too.
I just picture you watching an Ava movie with no subs. Imagine watching this movie with no subtitles.
Oh, God.
I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Especially the last hour. It was like, all right.
Even with the subtitles on, I was like, all right.
The Amazon subtitles were a little too fast. Or
I don't know.
Too slow.
I think they're just talking so fast.
I think that was the issue.
There's a lot of information.
Because you could hear it in like the speed at which dialogue is going.
Well,
I do think rapid fire.
There is issues. So there's a lot of shorter subtitles between like two characters. Normally, I would double those and then elongate the length. Because as a person who has dyslexia, there were certain subtitles that I would read. I knew I fucked up a word, so I'd go to start reading it again, and the new subtitle would be there. And I'm like, I lost whatever that was, so hopefully it wasn't important.
This movie's not dyslexic friendly.
No. It's one of those where I would have watched it, paused it, or went back if I fucked up.
I would have never watched their dub, though. So
nope.
We could have, man. It sounded so good.
We started it dub on accident.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Not again.
English voice. So good. I wonder if they use the same voice cast over.
I think it is.
Because how old is the third one to this one?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Do you think they had to rewatch the other movies? Like, that's what my voice was.
Well, I mean, I think some of the voice actors, at least in the first rebuild film, are the same from the original run.
Huh.
Like, it's the same voices.
So it's like 25 years later, and Grandpa's out there. He's like, I gotta finish this one last voice.
I gotta be Shinji again.
I gotta be a 14-year-old kid
who's 28 but still 14.
True.
So I will say, I think I should have watched the other movies beforehand. I don't remember what happened. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I remember some of that.
Even with the recap.
Well, the problem was the recap was at Mach speed of fucking
it's like
faster than the movie was.
Yeah. I appreciated a little recap, but I was just like, oh no, I don't remember this at all. Fuck.
I barely remembered fucking white-haired boy. Like I remember he was in the movies, but I'm like, oh yeah, he was in these movies.
Yeah.
The whole time we were watching him was like trying to piece it together. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. That's what I think that was the only major issue I had was I just couldn't remember fully from what happened, and I'm just like, oh well.
Yeah, I watched a little video earlier.
That probably
like
would have helped.
Summarizing it, like, and then it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 9 years. So.
Probably for me 8.
I don't think it's been that long for me, because I got the Blu-rays like 5 years ago, I think, and then I watched them when I got them.
You let me borrow them, and I never got a chance to watch them.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm so sad. I don't have time to watch them.
Because I have them all. That means I have to get this one on Blu-ray. But yeah, I have them all on Blu-ray.
It's going to be crazy when I have the collector set. He's like, I got to get them again.
I would do it. I did get the
this might be worth it.
collectors or whatever, but it's the fucking DVDs.
It's not the Blu-rays. Fine, yeah. But then again, I mean, I think... Is there Blu-rays for the original run?
No.
See, because that's what I heard.
Maybe now.
I heard that like getting the rights for the original run was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like especially like now that it's on Netflix and stuff like that.
I do wonder how much it's going to cost though. If they put out a Blu-ray of the movies or the original show.
Because the TV shows, I mean the movies I think are fine because Kara had the rights to them.
Okay.
So that's why there's Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah.
But like Gainax had like a death grip on the original run of Evangelion.
Of course.
So it wasn't until last year when it was
like a couple of years ago.
It was a couple of years ago, yeah. When like the series and End of Evangelion actually was able to be streamed or whatever. So maybe we'll get a Blu-ray now.
It'd be interesting. I do wonder if it'd be expensive because, like as you said, I have a collector's edition of DVD ones because the Blu-rays weren't out and now they're out, but they're like $150. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I already have
the box isn't even that cool. Just basic.
And I'm too lazy to actually look at the shit inside the box anymore. It's like, I'm going to get this, and we get all these little cool trinkets.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool to keep in the box.
Yeah, for reals.
As soon as the show came out on Netflix, I rewatched the whole show. I rewatched End of Evangelion and the other one. It's like Dead and Rebirth.
Yeah.
I watched those two. And then I got depressed.
Well, yeah.
Why?
Why? I wonder why.
Got an existential crisis. It's fine. As you do.
Nah, this movie had 0 crises.
Let's see. How do we want to structure how we're going to go about this?
I think we just fucking spoil it.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's like, so...
We talk about you want to just talk about the order? Do you want to talk about the old movies?
I think we talk about the movie first.
Okay, and then we reference backwards.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's so hard not to watch this movie and compare it to how the ending has been done previously, right?
Yeah.
Just because I mean, it's an obvious parallel, right? And especially when the movie that's also supposed to be an ending the previous time is considered almost a masterpiece of animated film.
Sure.
So
it is my favorite animation clip that for the end of Evangelion. It's so good. Masterpiece.
So I mean, I don't know. I think we'll just talk about. I think we'll talk about the rebuild series. We'll just talk about that because you haven't seen the original run.
Nope.
So we'll just
never
go.
Seen the original run?
No, I don't got time for that. I don't got time to be depressed. I can watch 6 hours, 7, probably 8 hours worth of content of the movies.
It's about the same.
Yeah, pretty
Still
much.
the same amount.
25 episodes.
Yeah.
Unless you watch the director cut of like,
No.
I think there's 4 episodes in there that have director's cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably like 45 minutes.
No. There's
Oh,
like I
okay.
think like just a few minutes extra.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
No. So the rebuild films. The first one came out in what
2002 or 4?
4?
Something like that.
You know, make me look up shit. Okay.
And I mean, it's one of those. It's just interesting that Anno went out of his way to rebuild the whole series.
I mean, the first one's almost like 1 by 1 to the original show.
Yeah, the first one is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just interesting that he wanted to do that, right? Allegedly saying that this is his original vision for the show. Which I don't know how much of that I fully believe, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Like, okay, I mean, he took what 20 years to finish it.
2007.
2007. I mean, I just say that because I know. I mean, the original run of Evangelion is kind of infamous in its creation as it is what it is as a show.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that they wrote it episode by episode.
Back in 1994.
Yeah.
So something interesting. I'm looking
5 to 6.
5.
I'm looking at 1.11 on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics score is 67.
Interesting.
6 people.
6 people.
So
Interesting.
just interesting to see that. Sorry.
But like I feel like that's interesting, and I feel like it's a show that when you watch it, I mean, I think there's very few instances where you can watch a creator's like mental health deteriorate over the course of a show.
It's pretty great.
Just because he's writing it episode by episode, which is, I mean, and obviously as the stress builds and as it progresses, it hits this downward spiral, right? So you wonder, right, if like was all of that like already in his head? Is that all that's set, and then he just kind of put it to paper?
See, what I think he's like portraying what he was going through the main character.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna put all my emotions into this little guy.
I mean, I get that, and that's fine. Like while it's created, I just mean I feel it's interesting when you look at like the rebuild films and his idea of I want to do it the way I always wanted to do it
with money.
With money, which is
Some
great,
money.
which is great, right? But the original run was done episode for episode, right? So is it something that he had just the whole thing planned in his head and he was just going through it and stuff, and like he made changes as it deteriorated, and then he looked at that and he's like, I wish I did this better, and that's what the rebuild films are?
Probably.
I didn't see the original thing, so I'm just gonna sit here and go, yeah, okay.
Because I mean, it's like a very different experience and stuff. Even though it is a pretty similar amount of content, if you really think about it. I mean, I feel like the movies, maybe this last one's probably a little bit different, but I do feel like the movies are a lot less character heavy than that original TV series was.
Oh yeah, I think this new movie was more character heavy.
It's very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how the show was.
Yeah.
That was like the whole show, except for you had an episode or so with the action, with the the robots beating up on the crazy alien angel things.
Pretty great.
But and especially when you got near the end of the series, I don't remember there being that many crazy fights anymore. It just got really psychological and weird.
Oh yeah, the last 2 episodes is just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, everyone looked at it like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck am I watching?
Especially because you don't understand half of it, because half of it's text.
And like unfinished frames and.
Oh, they lost money again?
Yeah.
Well, they technically did. I
They
mean,
did.
like the infamous elevator scene. I mean, it's a static image.
Yeah.
In the original run for like 5 minutes. Or is it? Yeah, it's like 5 minutes of just like that image before something happens. And then there's the Kawato death scene in the original run.
Oh yeah.
Which is also 5 minutes of a still frame.
Also, the famous Gendo pose.
Yeah.
It's also
Like a long pose.
so they don't have to animate the mouth.
Big brain.
Big
Yeah,
brain.
big brain.
Yeah.
It's like this movie with Asuka and her missing eye. I say like 80% of her shots was from that angle. It's like those guys knew what they were doing.
They had
With the mouth, and
Yeah.
they just have to animate it.
It makes it easy.
Lazy bastards.
And I mean that was obviously, budget went down. They lost their staff. I mean, there was all these things that happened at that time.
Sure.
When that came out. Well, going into the rebuilds now, it's just interesting to see what I guess would be his revised vision of the whole thing is. And for being a revised vision, like I think what Bob said earlier, the first film is 1 for 1.
Is
Like it's that first movie is exactly pretty much what the first few episodes of the show is.
I can remember 2 changes, and it's in the very first minutes when they introduce Shinji. He sees like a ghost of Rei, which is not in the movie.
Okay.
And they changed the color of the Unit 00 from light blue to yellow.
Yeah.
Or orange.
Oh,
Yeah. And that's all I can remember.
There's that color.
Yeah. This is the movie color.
That's the movie
For
color.
the original series, it's like a light blue.
Light blue.
Yeah.
Like her hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, it's basically exactly what that first one is.
But number 2.
That's when stuff starts getting spicy.
You know that girl with glasses, Mary or whatever?
Yeah.
She was not in the show at all.
She doesn't exist.
Really?
Yeah.
No, she's not a thing.
She's not a thing.
So you telling me there's just like 4 characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Plus like the,
yeah.
obviously
And he doesn't show up
Until,
until
like-
like the last. Well, okay. So if we were to exclude the last 2 episodes, we're going to toss those to the side because those are the weird episodes. He's only in the last like 2 or 3 episodes of the actual story.
Huh.
Because he's the last angel they have to defeat.
Uh-huh.
That's when they introduce him, like towards the end.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like in the original TV show, his death is like the last scene
Wow.
before it gets weird.
Before it all goes to shit.
Yeah, before it gets weird.
I said the movies aren't like that. It goes to shit from pretty much the beginning.
Yeah. So technically, the second film is the last half of the series.
Okay.
That's
So 3 and 4 are basically just
They're extra.
brand
Yep.
new things.
Mm-hmm. So that
Okay.
and which was weird when I remember watching the second film and going like, oh, this is the film, but they added a character, and then they made changes, which brings me a question for this movie later that we can talk about. For instance, with it's Unit 5, right? The black one.
It's Unit 3.
3?
It's Unit 3 technically.
Yeah.
It used to be a different
Number?
In the
number
original
in the
one.
original run. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the original run, the tall friend rides the robot, and the
Okay.
tall friend dies in the robot because Shinji
You know,
kills the fucking
The
robot.
one that's a doctor in the new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy here is in the robot.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
And he
He
dies
kills
there.
him.
Yeah, he dies there.
Imagine how depressed he would have been in these movies. I hated the beginning of this movie so much. So much.
The friend dies there. Well, but in the movies, they change it for Asuka,
Man.
right? So technically, Asuka dies in the unit, right?
She gets really injured or something like that.
I think that's
you
why
know-
she
you-
loses her eye, isn't it?
No.
Or is that in the next one? No.
Well, see, that's the thing. Because she dies or whatever in that attack, because you don't see her the rest of the movie
Yeah,
until the third one.
And then she comes back with the eye
With the
patch.
eye
Yeah.
patch, which makes you think like, hey, this happened at the end of Evangelion or what? That's where she loses her eye,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like part of her like suit matches where she got damaged at the end of Evangelion.
Okay.
So that's where like theories were like, hey, what if this is connected or this is like a time loop or something like that?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things like that. But that's why that's something I wanted to go to. So, well, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to the fourth movie in itself of like what Asuka is, because I think
sounds spicy.
because I think the second movie kind of almost clearly delineates that she dies
Yeah.
in the unit, which makes you wonder what the third and fourth movie Asuka is.
Yeah.
And then what in the fourth movie? What angels
Or
did she
left?
have? That no, what
Oh,
angel
ninth,
did
the
she have the
ninth.
eye? Ninth.
The ninth.
Who's ninth? Was ninth like the one with the light?
No, the ninth is the one that possessed the Ava. You know,
Oh,
when she was in
okay,
it?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the ninth one. Okay, I'm trying to remember all of them because like the series goes through like all of them, right?
Yeah.
What the movies go through, maybe like 4 of them.
There's 13 or whatever.
Okay.
And they kill most of it on screen.
Yeah. I know they go around killing things
Yeah.
quickly. I know some of them are pretty quick, and then you get the big ones that fucking take forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Took
yeah.
a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember the series went through like all of them, where the movies have only went through like a certain portion of them. So I mean that was one thing that's interesting to me, which makes the ending of this other fourth movie weird and other questions and weird things in when you consider what these characters are.
True.
But yeah, so that second movie is basically the end of the series. It ends similarly. I mean, there's some people that don't die in the way they normally would.
It's just normal changing.
Most of them, yeah. They just moved
because
around.
Rei dies in that number 2. She sacrificed herself for Shinji. And in the show, that's where Kaji?
Well, Kaji gets like fucking assassinated.
After, like a little bit before that or
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets murked after boning Katsuragi. Because
like
that's a scene in the show.
He leaves her a voicemail before he dies. It's nice.
But like, and I remember when it got to that part in the film, like, oh, this is going somewhere else. The animation on that second film is so good, though.
It is really good.
It's just top tier. It's
I
just
feel like
so
the animation in all the films are pretty good.
Good.
Just including this one at the moment because we haven't talked about it yet. But I don't know. They've all felt pretty tied in very well. Like
another change in the second one is that's where the third impact happens.
Okay.
Or started to.
Sure.
Because he like tries to kill that one angel that killed Rei or whatever, and that like triggers the third impact technically. But then Best Boy shows up and like spears him with the lance.
Shinji?
And the other one.
Garu?
Yeah. He comes in from the moon with his new Ava or whatever, stabs him, and then that just like stops it.
Okay.
That doesn't happen until end of Evangelion in the original run, because that's like that is pretty much what end of Evangelion was. That whole movie was like that third impact.
Okay.
Yeah. In the original run, they do fight that one. They beat it. He becomes he goes berserk mode, but then it shuts down again. He meets Kaworu. They have a good like relationship or whatever, and then he finds out that he has to kill him. If not, all of humanity is gonna die. So he kills him. And he's like, "Oh no, I killed my friend," and then the third impact happens.
Yeah, and then the whole weird human instrumentality project happens that I've never fully understood. I think I have a very basic idea of what it is, but like those last 2 episodes just make it so weird.
It's like a psychoanalysis of the character.
Yeah,
The last 2 episodes.
Yeah, yeah, but like because it's supposed to be under the guise of this like human instrumentality project, right? Where I guess people have AT fields technically. And it's supposed to get rid of them, so everybody has like the same mind and the same shit. You're just like, sure.
Just waiting for the movies.
Well, I mean, because that's what the movies go into the same thing, and that's something that's very big in this film, right? It's the same thing that happens, is just differently than what is done previously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that second film ended, dude, and I'm like, this is new.
I was like, no, this all went to shit real quick.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, though. I feel like you got to push the story forward faster in a movie than you do in a show. That's why some shows are better.
Like 5 years. They're like, what's going to happen?
And then
it took so much time in between every goddamn movie. I think the first and second were like the shortest, and it was like the third to second was long, and then fucking 10 years
for the last one.
What was the second one? Yeah, look that up.
But that third one,
2011, so like 5 years still.
That third one came out of left field. Like
that third one was bonkers.
14-year gap. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, third was bonkers. Asuka's back, but with an eye patch.
Everyone's old.
Everyone's old.
The world is fucked.
There's a big bone ship that flies in the air.
Yep.
Being powered by Eva Unit 1.
That shit was wild.
I remember starting that movie just like, oh, this is new. We're in uncharted territory.
I have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on. Because Kawada doesn't really show up in the second movie till like the very end, right?
Yeah.
But he's prominent in the third, and I'm just like, oh, they moved him here. Interesting.
He's almost more of a main character in the third.
I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
To expand why he was so important to Shinji or whatever.
Yeah.
To the point where he dies. Same role, just different circumstances, I guess.
Yeah, instead of Shinji going pop,
Yeah.
his head just explodes.
Much better death.
Feels
All
more
I've learned-
traumatizing.
All I've learned from this movie is just don't be Shinji's friend. You'll be okay. You'll probably survive.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No wonder he was depressed.
That's why he's a depressed boy. But then you have to ask the question, right? Is it because of his depressed boyness that these people died?
Yes. Yes.
That's a good question.
Did they die because he didn't want to get in the robot? Which was the other fun thing, right? Because that's the meme of the original run, right? And even in those first two movies, right? Everyone, shouting at Shinji to get into the robot, right?
Yeah.
And then the third movie starts and everyone shouts at him not to get into the robot.
But see, the problem is it took him so long to get in the goddamn robot. He probably could have saved more shit if he did it earlier. Or he would have fucked it up earlier and then everyone could have died quicker, He just prolonged everyone's death.
See, look what happens. That he got in the robot to save Rei, the very first episode. Then he got in the robot to save Asuka, but he ends up killing her. So he doesn't want to get in the robot. And then he gets back in the robot because Rei dies.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to save her. And then they're like, hey, don't get in the robot. But Kaworu's like, hey, bro, get in the robot so you can redeem yourself. I'm like, yeah, I want to redeem myself. I want to save my friends, blah, blah, blah. Fucks everything up. He was like, everything I do is wrong.
That's a good momentum to think about. After you fucked up the first time, maybe the second, maybe this is just not your line and field of work. Maybe he'd be good like McDonald's teller,
This is it's like the most tragic, chosen one archetype of hero, right? It's
He's not even a chosen one.
Well, I mean, to a certain degree, it is though. When you think about how the Avas are built, what they're built of, who they're for.
Yeah.
Because Ava Unit 1 technically is built for him.
Yeah.
No one else could really pilot Ava Unit 1. Because that's just how it's set up.
That's how it is. Yeah.
That's just how it is. It's only Rei could pilot, Unit 0 and Asuka Unit 2. Because they're built from weird, depressing backstory shit.
Yeah.
Because I just remember when the original run went that way, and I was just like, what the okay. It's it was weird when you noticed that the Avas aren't just machines.
Yeah.
When there's an actual biological thing in them.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? These are real eyes? This is skin and bones? Okay.
And then it starts going into where they come from, which I believe, this movie I think goes into a little bit more than what the other movies did. But you're just okay. Okay, this went there.
Yeah.
This is doing.
Yeah. They trigger the near third impact or whatever.
So some of the best soundtrack ever, from Ode to Joy to that chorus run that runs during that whole battle scene where Asuka and Mario are trying to stop Shinji from fucking everything.
It sounds about right.
And then she ran the ship into him.
And
it didn't stop it.
What stops it?
Well, he stabs himself with one.
Oh, okay.
And then he dies. And I think that stops it. Because he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or whatever.
I did the thing.
Something fell.
Oh, it's that. Yeah, it's the brick. But the other thing's holding it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Man, this series is just so... Okay, the movies are all you've watched, right? So we'll.
Well, we should talk about the movies first, because I'd argue probably most of the people that are going to listen to this want to know about the new movie. Okay.
No.
That's fine.
No, never mind. Okay, but yeah, that's the third movie. That's how the third movie goes, right? And all the stuff, all the craziness. Okay, this movie.
First off, seizure warnings. It doesn't say it anywhere in the goddamn movie, but there should be some goddamn warning.
Don't watch in a dark room.
No.
It's gnarly.
We just learned to understand Japanese, so you can close your eyes for 5% of the movie. When they're showing the AT fields at their max potential of strobe.
Strobe light.
You're like, oh, God.
Alrighty. Initial thoughts on this film. This new film that we've waited 9 years for.
It was a movie. It was an Ava movie that I forgot Ava was a thing, I guess, because I don't remember anything about the movies at this point.
Initial thoughts.
You just like the movie in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what'd
So
you think?
basic-
What'd you
basic
think?
stuff.
What'd you think of this film before we deep dive into randomness?
I love this movie, but I don't think it was worth waiting 10 years for it.
No.
I mean, you also have to beg the question: would any version of this movie be worth waiting 10 years for?
No. I would have waited 5 years at most.
Yeah. So I mean, it's in a shitty spot regardless, right?
Yeah.
But looking at it for what it is, I enjoyed a lot of this movie. There's some eyesore parts that made me very sad.
I trying to give it the benefit of the doubt that those were deliberate.
But
Even deliberate, I don't give a shit.
It just
Like,
doesn't look good.
True. They're just like, this makes me sad.
it's
Why
like
would you
watching
do
a movie
this?
where they do like some fancy shot, but it looks like garbage, and you're like, they tried. I give them a 10 for trying. And you're like, no, I don't give a shit.
I mean, it's not the best.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Garbage,
and
some would argue.
especially when like you compare it to like similar types of scenes.
Just compare it from like 3 to
that's
1
what I'm
through
saying.
3.
In the previous 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like,
not great.
The joke I would have is they lost budget again for the second time.
They're like, hey, you took too long. We're just going to half your budget.
You were
They
gonna
have
half
your
it.
budget here, so good luck with CG and hand-drawn frames. And like, even as you guys said in the old one, when they lost budget, they
Yeah.
would do the one shot for like 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
At least if they did that, at least make that shot look nice, not just like what they did. Because even with the last battle scene, without too spoiler, they did the same attack like 12 times, just with a different background.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they animated the same move, and then there's like, new background. It's like, oh
That
my
CG was
God.
awful. It was like, you think you liked, what's that show called? Ruby.
You liked Ruby Season 1? This is Ruby Season 0.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I think we heard someone be like, so this PS2 cutscene that PS2 game cutscene that we watched.
Pretty much.
What it's so weird because I feel like compared to like a lot of the rest of this movie, which is like so like high.
Well, I knew there was going to be issues when I first saw the CG in the movie with Asuka and is it Marie?
Yeah.
When they're flying around anytime they're in 0G, I guess people can't animate 0G flying around. So they had
I
to
guess.
use the CG.
I didn't mind that one. The one thing that bothered me at first when he was like force feeding him, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh
is
yeah,
this
yeah.
with the
3D model?
shaking fucking
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
You're like, is that supposed to be him shaking? If it is, why is he like on a third person view of him being like shooken around? I hated that camera.
Shaky
part.
cam.
It was so bad.
I mean, I hate shaky cam in general, but shaky cam.
Anime shaky cam, worst. Worst shaky
Well,
cam.
it's funny because when you look at like scenes like that, I mean, we watched a movie not too long ago that tried to do similar things, and I felt like it looked better. Like when we watched Hathaway.
I think that was more because there's a lot of black, like a lot of darkness.
Well, I mean, I mean on the fight scenes, but even like in the plane and stuff like that, they would do like weird shots.
Yeah.
And I felt like the CG looked better there than it does in some of the weird same shots they try to do in this film.
I've learned from watching so much shit that CG is really good if A, it's not humans.
Yeah.
And B, it's dark, and C, if there's minimal movement. When there's a lot of movement and a lot of like rotating of the body, you can really see it kick in.
Yeah.
It's a CG model.
Especially when I think the lighting is just like it's such a big, a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
Because you can fit. I mean, you can fix a lot of that with like different lighting techniques and stuff like that. But the darkness and shadows
Darkness obviously makes the
helps
best.
so much, right?
Because CG models they're rigged to be bright.
Yeah.
So when they are bright, they stand out. But when they're dark, it pushes it almost flatter.
It's like I think if we're gonna just even talk about mechs, right? It's like the difference between the designs and the look of the mechs in the first Pacific Rim compared to the second one.
Yeah.
Where in the second one's all in daylight.
Yeah.
In the first one, like everything's like in a darkness or like a weird shape.
It's all night fights.
Why would you deliberately make it look shitty?
I mean, I don't know if it's like I don't understand how that choice is made.
Is it a callback being like, oh, remember when we lost budget in the old TV show? We're gonna make it look like we lost
I
budget
feel like
in
towards
the
the
movie?
end it was a callback, but to that scene, I don't know.
I don't know what
I
that
don't know.
scene was because
Yeah.
it was like a big fight scene. That it didn't last very long.
No.
No.
But then it was like fight scene, and then they would clash the same way. Fight scene, and then after that fight scene, it went to that weird like callback of we lost budget, so here's your storyboard for the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why I give it the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe it was deliberate, but God, it looks so fucking bad.
I don't give a shit if it's deliberate. Man. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, because you can be like, you can have like that deliberate deconstruction and still have it look decent. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like especially like the end of this movie when they do the stuff where they show you like the keyframes and all that. I did like that.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
It's fine. I mean, I liked it, and it's something like, or like the sketchy, drawings of like flashbacks and
to
stuff.
me, that's something cool when
Yeah.
I watch a cut that's like, here's our animated storyboard cut. I don't want to watch it in a movie.
No. I mean, End of Evangelion does the same thing. I mean, that's why it's like, for me, it's like, I looked at it, it's exactly the same. It's just,
It's just what they do.
Yeah, it's just a way they play with the animation.
Sure. Animation at that point.
Yeah, that's the way they play with the weirdness of it. I mean, Evangelion's always been known to do like weird shit like that anyway. It's just kind of like the style of what it is.
Yeah.
From like the off-brand, like the weird, almost music choices that they make sometimes for certain scenes.
God, the music in this movie was so bad. So bad. There's like good scenes in this movie that had music, but a lot of the scenes were like, they're getting their asses kicked, and it's like da 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 da.
It's happy music.
You're like, what the fuck?
There was 2 scenes where just like the music doesn't match what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's a little jarring, and I mean I understand that Evangelion does have like older, interesting type of music in certain spots,
which I'm fine with, but it just didn't match.
No.
Was the issue? If it matched, I'm fine with that.
I still believe the third movie has my favorite soundtrack of the 3.
I agree.
Like it's just so very tightly done, and it fits everything so well. Even with like the weird poppy jazzy stuff that sometimes comes up in the movie, I feel like they're used in the right locations. Where this movie, I don't quite feel that way.
It feels like they wanted to add stuff like that, and they're like, oh, this was a good song, or this is a good song, period. Let's put it in. Let's put it in when they're getting their asses kicked, and we'll make it seem like it's happy. Like,
the other thing
about
too, especially in the later half of this film, it's like I don't feel like there's any music that sounds like as grand as this ending is supposed to be. Does that make sense?
Well, I know they tried with the one song with the like the last scene where they're coming in on the ship and it has like that old classical music.
Yeah.
I thought that fit pretty well.
No,
but there's like for the third one there was specific music pieces that were made for those like grand scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this one it's gone.
If anything, I felt
they
like
lost budget again.
Yep.
Couldn't get money for the music.
I feel like I feel like the most hyped I felt for music is when they played like the fucking like original, like the the main Ava theme.
Yeah.
Like
it was a good spot too to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that to me, that scene was good.
Exactly, and I was just like, yes, this. Now I wish everything else, even like the choice of putting "Joy to World" where they did, which is fine because that song does appear in the original show.
Yeah.
Like, it's when Asuka gets blasted by the light, and you get the weird flashbacks and shit. Yeah. Okay,
that's always fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like where it was there, I'm like, this fits what it is, but it just didn't go anywhere else after that.
Yeah.
There's like a callback music piece, and you're like, oh, cool.
I think the fourth movie is just very fan servicey. Not only just like butt shots or whatever, but just
constant
like
butt shots.
20.
So
to be
nice.
Exact.
We watched the video. Someone counted.
There's only 20 butt shots.
There's 20 butt shots.
I close my eyes. I see more than 20.
20 butt shots. But
it was great.
It was just, I think, more fan servicey for the fans. Of like, okay, here's a little. Maybe your theory was right, or like
here's Asuka being naked 90% of the time. Fan service.
Great.
I like how the friend didn't give a shit that she was nude.
I think he was just used to it.
He's just like,
or they're adults, so they're like.
Yeah, but it's still awkward to have someone naked in your house for fucking 90% of the day. You're like, you don't want to wear clothes? No.
No, you good?
Okay. So, yeah, whatever.
Did she have any other clothes? Because it's just the plug suit.
Is the plug suit and the military jacket.
Yeah.
And her underwear.
Yep.
Yep.
So
and a shirt.
Yeah.
A t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
She never had the t-shirt on.
She did when she was sleeping.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like a crop top almost.
So she had a
when
crop
they did
top?
that fan service shot,
Yeah.
yeah, she was wearing a crop
I
top.
don't remember that.
She was
That's not where he was looking.
I remember the rest of that
he's like,
scene. I don't remember the
I
crop
was
top.
preoccupied somewhere else.
So she had a crop top this whole time.
Yeah.
And she wore it where she could be naked. But when she was outside, she's like, fuck it.
I'm gonna just wear this military jacket and my panties.
I'm not arguing, but if I was the guy, I'd be like,
Which
can you wear some clothes?
Which is so funny when you think about that. Like thinking about End of Evangelion, where all of End of Evangelion, Rei is naked
Yes.
for like the entire movie.
And in this movie, not once.
It's a very interesting
She's
shift.
naked in the movie quite a bit.
Right?
Oh, Ray?
Yeah.
No, not even once.
I think she was once. When she was getting into the bath, I
Oh
think she
yeah,
was
but
naked once.
But
yeah.
you don't. It wasn't fan servicey.
Because like if
I
you
can't
watch,
remember.
because if you,
No, I know, but
when
I
you
feel
watch
like
them
she
at the End of
was.
Evangelion, it was just full
Ass.
frontal nudity, like 100 times because it showed you like all the clones and shit.
Yeah.
We
And
did
then-
see that at the end.
And then the end, where this movie does the CG nightmare fuel.
Oh god.
End of Evangelion does the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's not CG
CG.
nightmare fuel.
I don't know which I prefer though. I appreciated the CCG nightmare fuel.
I don't know if I
Goddamn.
appreciated that. I couldn't sleep last night. It was bad.
I close my eyes and I see that face.
Just those red eyes just staring at me.
I don't know what was worse was either the face or the weird like mannequin bodies that were like holding hands, nude, flipping around. I'm like, what the fuck am I staring at?
all the Avas that became just mannequin bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was weird.
They're like, Jesus, wipe my brain.
Just got nothing to do with this, mate.
I'm pretty sure he does. I saw a lot of crosses in this movie.
True.
I mean, it's funny when like I do appreciate how this movie went back and was just like, okay. It's like, because there's so many questions, there's so many things that are left unanswered with characters in the previous film
Yeah.
that this film does kind of go out of its way to do, right? Which
Out of
I
the
do.
way is a good word. Yeah.
Nah?
Out of the way is a good word.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it does.
Because like if you watch the original run and then if you read the manga, they make sense. Because it's like callback after what they already did
Yeah.
previously. So it's like, oh, this makes sense that they did that. And like it goes with what they've done.
Yeah.
To me, I felt like all the callback to characters was something they should have done throughout the movies and not just
they should have.
an hour of it, or I'd say 30 minutes of it at the end of like,
Yeah.
here's all their backstory. You're like, the movie's over though. Like, why are you showing me this now? It's like, I'm already going to be sad. What you're going to show me now is not going to make me more sad.
I mean, I always thought that was a weird choice as the movies came out anyway. Because like I said, like the show was so character focused on the last half of it.
Yeah.
That, especially like in, we'll say the second and third movie, right, where that would have taken place,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No.
And I always felt like that always gave you some more, whether appreciation or just understanding of who these characters why and why they're all shitty, because that's the best way to describe them. I mean, it's different, and it's not the same depressed fueled run as what you get in these films when you have that. I mean, the tones is so, I feel like the tone is so different between like this film and how the original series ends.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just ridiculously different. Especially when you look at like this film and like the things that happen and the choices characters make and people, people inevitably dying, because that's what happens in an Ava film, right? I feel like it never hits as hard as when the same characters or different characters went through similar or more other devastating things in the original run. It hits different.
Sure. See, I don't have that, so it doesn't.
Yeah. But
I don't really have the hit.
but still, I mean, when you look at this film, there's no potency to any of like the sacrifices or stuff like that. You just don't feel it.
Yeah.
After Ray dies like for the 300th time, I'm just like,
Oh, I mean,
who cares?
yeah, that one's beside the point, because that one, I mean, you expect it.
That one got me.
that one got
Did it?
you.
On the new one, yeah, because she was like completely like different Ray, I guess.
Oh yeah, she
For
is.
like the
She-
300th
no.
time.
Well, I mean, her death in the second one,
oh yeah.
or do you
Yeah.
mean in this one?
I think
Oh,
he
in
means this one.
Oh.
In this
I'm
one.
just like,
Because
yeah, whatever.
she was such a important role for Shinji
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
time that for her to just like disappear was like instead of making him depressed, kind of just like move them forward. So
I mean, I do appreciate that end of this movie. Shinji is probably the better version of Shinji than any of the other Shinjis that have come before him.
He's also like 28, so I mean, you hope.
Yeah, but he was asleep for like 14 years.
Yeah,
he's a
like
14-year-old.
Like a real man. Once you hit 28, you can finally become a man and not be a bitch.
Not be a depressed bitch that doesn't want to get in the robot.
The only backstory that didn't make sense to me in this movie to put was Asuka's backstory.
Yeah.
I would put that in the second movie.
That's what I was thinking too.
That's the only one. The rest, I think they felt fine.
Yeah.
To me, to just leave
Like,
them there.
I felt like the Rei and Kawadu stuff fit very well thematically with like Shinji's mom and his dad and that whole thing. So I did appreciate that. I really, because Asuka's backstory, like, it was just so, I remember going through it.
It's dark.
And it was just so potent going through it that I really wish they would have done it before, because it just gives so much context to her character.
Yeah.
Or why she acts the way she is.
Yeah.
Because
she always wants attention.
Yeah, because you saw it in this movie where he's like, oh, she's being a bitch for this reason. You're like, it's like, I kind of knew that, but, you know, it'd have been nice to actually show me this 5 movies ago. And I'd be like, oh, this is the last time you're gonna see her. So here's her backstory. You know, like,
and it's not even and it's not even fully her either at that point either.
No,
because it's like how I understood it. It's like a clone of her.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Fucking clone.
Another clone. Best clone.
Fucking Da Vinci. And you're like, what?
Well, it makes sense because I mean the character fucking dies.
Yeah.
It's like with Rei, how that one was a clone, right? They introduced the clone in 3 because the original Rei died. I mean, it's not super far fetched, right?
But she's best first batch.
Yep. Original batch.
Such a fucking shit term.
But I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, I don't understand. So okay, if they're all cloned off the original person,
Yes.
DNA, right? I'm guessing.
Sure.
Is it their memories that they have too?
I think so.
Then why does Rey never have memories? It's like every time she's in a movie, it's like, what is this? What is that? I'm like, I'm done with your 100 fucking questions.
Because I don't think she ever really had them to begin with.
Well, then fucking get the DNA from the one that died 2 seconds ago and slap her in the new one.
Yeah.
Because every time it's like, I gotta teach her again. It's like, oh, okay, here we go again.
I thought it was endearing. It was very cute. It was a different side of Rey that you never saw.
Because she's, I don't remember her being that like.
She was never that
questioning, yeah.
But she had that mentality.
Because I always felt like she was just submissive, like in her original form.
Yeah.
That's like what she is. It's like just very.
She was very like, yes, Gendo, I'll do it or whatever.
She listens to commands.
Yeah.
She's a fucking clone.
And never questioned anything about what she is or what's going on. She just did the thing and like murdered herself in a giant robot just because.
Because it's evil.
No, she wanted to make Shinji happy because she didn't want him to get in the robot.
No, I mean that's that's now, right? Because like in the original series, I don't feel like she has those motivations, and I don't know. I can't remember these first 2 movies very well. On the second movie, she probably would, but like because the first time you meet her in the first film, she's like beaten to shit.
Yeah.
Right, which is the same thing in the series.
Yeah,
and she just does that thing even before Shinji, because she's looking for like what's the word I'm looking for?
Validation.
Validation or from Gendo, right?
Yeah,
Gendo's
he's daddy.
Yeah. He's everybody's daddy.
You're not wrong.
Best dad.
Gendo's the biggest Chad in this whole series.
No, he's a bitch and then becomes the biggest Chad.
Yeah, you're right.
That backstory.
That's how Chad's.
Is that how Chad's
evolve
work?
or come
is that what this is? Is there a Chad hierarchy that I didn't know about?
Yeah, you start a bitch and then you become a Chad. You just don't. You're not a Chad all the time.
I'm pretty sure you're Chad all the time. I'm pretty sure you're born a Chad.
You think a Karen is a Karen all the time?
Yes.
It wasn't like.
It's something you grew up.
Is being a Karen genetic or is it learned? The moment you get that hairstyle, is it something that just comes into being?
It's the haircut. Is
that a choice or is that like?
It's deep programming, right?
It's what you're taught as a kid, basically. Because I'd argue, what's it called? You can see it in most Chad-like people. Because I think of Ladybeard, because he's like the last big Chad I can think of. Motherfucker was a Chad all his life. He's like, dude, I found out if I wore fucking dresses and grew my hair long, that everyone laughs at me. I like that. So I just did it all the time. And you're like, okay, that's a Chad-like moment.
But I mean, Gendo doesn't really have that charisma energy though, because he's always he's that edgelord, right? He's the edgelord villain
The whole time.
the entire time. That's
even at the end,
he's always been that, right?
Yeah.
That's just what Gendo is.
He's fucking what's the Naruto one everyone fucking memes?
Sasuke.
He's Sasuke. He's Sasuke in this movie.
I mean, the backstory is interesting because it's not something that the original series ever touched on, or ever went into, like why he's such a dick.
Yeah. I thought
like
it was interesting that they put that in.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But like,
I did like that a lot.
The manga wasn't very into that either.
No, it wasn't.
What they explained was, like Fuyutsuki was there and he was like the main professor, and that's how. And then Yuri, the mom, was working for him as like an assistant, and then you meet Gendo.
No.
And they both fall in love, but Fuyutsuki was in love with the mom, and then big Chad moment. He's she's my girl now, and he's like all salty about it or whatever.
Weird.
Yeah, and then shit happens.
And she dies.
Yeah. I didn't think they would show that in this movie.
He clones her, makes a giant robot out of her.
He's like, yo, fuck my kid because it reminds me of my dead wife. I'm gonna give it to your aunt or whatever.
This sounds like normal family ties. Like no issues
and then he goes, I'm gonna go bang the other doctor that's also working on this.
Oh, she died because of me. I'm gonna bang his daughter.
Yep.
Fucking Chad, dude.
And I mean, that's a story. That's like actually It's funny because we say that because we know, because that's never touched upon in the films at all. That's just like in the series, because the films never go into their computer system the way the show does, like the Magi system.
Yeah.
Because her brain's in it, like the doctor's mom's brain is like in the machine. That's what makes it work. Because I think in one of the series, an angel like takes it over,
trying to hack the main base or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird, but it goes into that whole dynamic of like that doctor with her mom and then Gendo in there and all the other weird shit, and even to the point in End of Evangelion where I think Ritsuko's gonna like blow up the facility or some shit. Mm-hmm. She has like a gun on Gendo and she goes to do it, and the Magi system stops it.
Oh, the mom's still like, oh, no, I'm in love with this guy.
Fuck you. And then she gets shot.
It's great. Anyway, I did like
I don't like Knuckles.
I did like how they did all Gendo's backstory and like, oh, you're just like Shinji. You're very similar or whatever. Or what he, instead of fighting it out, he was like, I'm going to try to understand what my father's trying to do, this bullshit.
Yeah. Good thing they didn't fight it out, because I didn't want to watch any more of them fighting it out.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, are we spoiling this? I can't tell what we're doing. We're like sidestepping everything.
It's all spoiler. I mean, everyone knows. If you watch previous episodes, we spoil everything.
Yeah. No, I didn't know if we were doing it now or not. Because we're like fucking. It's like yes, no.
I don't know, man. It's like a force of habit, because I feel like if I really have to go in it, there's a lot of shit to unpack.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because there's a lot of shit that happens in this movie.
A movie is like so many things. You can just be like, this happens and this happens, but
I'd argue it's a linear movie.
I mean, it is technically.
It's very linear. The only thing I'd say, the ending lasts like 10 minutes when they go backwards. That's the only time it's not linear. It's very just.
No, it is. It is very straightforward. I think the issue for us is like when it's just all the context around it.
Well,
and
I think
everything.
the issue is you've seen the other show, so you keep going back to the show to talk about stuff that didn't happen in the movie.
Yeah. It's just interesting. It's just weird.
I don't know. Like the extra spears were weird to me.
I don't know.
I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, we only have 2 more spears, and too bad. Once they're all out. Oh, well.
I just remember Longinus, dude.
There was only one.
There was only one?
That's why I was like, where are these extra spears
and it was on the moon.
from?
It was on the moon.
It was. But now it's not. Now it's in some guy's body. Or 13, Unit 13's
That is
body.
true. I never thought about that until we watched that video on that theory.
Yeah.
That fucking Kawado grabs the fucking spear from the moon.
Yeah.
Where in the movies, like...
No, in the show...
No, yeah.
It was on Earth.
Okay.
and then they shot it to kill an angel in space.
And it landed on
And
the
then
moon.
it landed on the moon.
And in the movie, they're like, I'm gonna bring it back from the moon. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
So they got lucky as fuck. The moon was there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been like, it's like
Uh-huh.
damn, that spear's gone.
Yeah, which is it's like things like that, or where someone pointed out that in the third movie the oceans are like red or whatever's.
Yeah.
Where that happens in End of Evangelion in the actual ones because that doesn't happen during the actual show run. Like weird things like that. Like just the way this title set up and stuff like that. I do feel like I do feel like this movie's very referential to everything that came before it, not just the films the films in the rebuild.
Well, of course, because part of his fucking written thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like every iteration of what Evangelion is.
Yeah. I'd argue that the movies are a speedrun of Eva, but they're not if they're just as long. So some would argue they're not even the same.
There's a couple references to like backstabbing. Like you have the Cassius Lance or whatever.
Yeah.
You have Mary.
Her last name is like Iscariot.
Yeah, a reference to Judas who betrayed Jesus.
Well, of course, the whole movie is about fucking Jesus. If you really look, man, how many crosses are everyone's in fucking T-pose constantly? Because how many of them were fucking stabbed or speared to a fucking some type of cross?
It happens.
Because he had Unit 13, he had the angel that was like I don't know what's considered
Lilith.
That's Lilith.
Yeah. You should know that. What's it called when they take off the bottom half of your body?
When they're...
This is basic knowledge, common knowledge.
You have Nugget.
I mean, in my head, I'm thinking of drawn and quartered, but that's technically not it.
That's just when they just...
Deboweled? No.
That's when they just rip out your
Bowels.
guts. This is common knowledge. Holy shit.
Is it?
Having a brain fart again.
Maybe he's just not as common knowledge as we think he is.
It's all a facade.
It's all a facade. It's a shallow facade, dude.
Yeah, anyway, but yeah, there is a lot
like
of
Endo.
a lot of Jesus Bible references. In
I
the whole
think
movie.
Hideaki Anno's gone out and said like the only he just picked all the the Christian imagery because he thought it looked cool.
It's creepy as fuck.
Well, there's that, and it's like it was so, especially we're looking in the 90s in the modern day. I don't know, but when he made the show, it was so foreign.
It's so controversial in the West, but over there it's so foreign. It's like, it's fine, it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
And over here it's like, wait a minute, that's fucked up.
But there is it's just this whole like, because it's so different. Like, what if you wanted to make something alien? Like that's like the epitome of what you would do. Especially if you think of like ideas of like Old Testament biblical angels and stuff. I don't know what else sounds more alien than a wheel with 10 eyes and wings and shit.
Alien spaceships.
If I want to make a creepy trippy mecha that's like the perfect villain, I could bring, right?
Sure, yeah.
Especially when it's something that you wouldn't consider to be a villain traditionally, right?
Sure.
I mean,
throughout time, Christianity has always been the leader, never a villain. Man, the Crusades were such a good time of the time.
I mean, it depends what perspective you look at it from, my dude.
Man, crazy.
Never been the bad guys.
Never been the bad guys. Muslims are loving us.
It's actually funny too, because most of the angel names and stuff that we consider to be whatever semi-canonical or whatever it is,
sure.
Most of them come from the Quran.
Yeah,
they come from Islam.
Yeah,
and not from
Christianity.
Oh, that's what happens when you get many religions. You slam them all together and call it a book, and you're like, I wonder how much money I'm gonna make.
Yeah, because all like the angel names like are even like if you look at in Catholicism all the archangel names, like the majority of those aren't in any form of like Christian text.
Yeah,
it's all in like Islamic text.
Also, you have Jewish references.
Oh, obviously,
like Lilith. That's not yours.
Yeah, because that's not technically in the Bible. That's in other versions of Genesis.
So speaking about the angels in this movie, I thought it was weird how they did them all.
All the different Avas.
Because isn't the first one like the first scene? What's her name fighting one of the angels? The one with
they're not angels anymore.
They weren't angels anymore. No. So it was just like
they're Ava series.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all Ava units, different versions of Ava units. Because that's something that also happens in End of Evangelion is, I mean, the the quintessential scene is Asuka versus the Eva series.
Yeah.
Because they build the like weird anamorphic biological weapon looking Evas. And that's what this film does. It just amplifies it, it turns the dial up to 10.
Yeah, with the fucking can lady fucking
Yeah.
gun robots or whatever you want to call those fucking things.
That shit was wild.
I thought the first scene was amazing. I'm like, this movie's gonna be great. And
then it slows down.
And then it fucking hits the brakes, turns left, and then hits reverse, and you're like, it's like, man, we're back at real Eva, where fucking Shinji's a fucking bitch, crying, and everyone else has to do everything constantly for him.
Standard depressed teenager,
Fucking first 30 minutes, I wanted to shoot myself.
That never bothered me in the show and any of the movies.
He's the worst character written ever.
I don't think he's a bad character.
I don't think he's the worst written. It's
He's
really
moody.
really
He's just
shitty
like,
to have
I
him as a
don't want
protagonist.
Teenager.
Yeah, but you complain about bitch ass characters like that guy's got 6 girls, but he doesn't want to fuck anyone. He's the same fucking way.
That's different.
What's the difference?
Because you don't understand his backstory or whatever, where he comes from.
Because I think those other characters are just like stupid.
Yeah, they're just dumb.
He's also stupid.
I mean, yeah,
I
but
don't want to do this. I don't want to. Okay, I'll do it.
it's not like we haven't met people like that.
No, of course. I don't like those people either.
Yeah, I mean, it's
call them
understandable.
bitches.
No. I mean, that's understandable. I'm just saying, it's like, I don't feel like he's a poorly written character.
No, I just think he's a bad character. Like,
He's just a person that it's easy to hate.
yeah.
Just be like, oh, you lazy, you don't want to do this for the good of humanity. Fuck you.
Also, at this point, you'd be broken. You're the 100% broken, and you would not give 2 shits about anyone. If you lost all your friends, all your family, and it was your fault, you're like, oh, I don't want to lose anybody else. You'd be like, oh well, I'm going in the battle, and hopefully I die. If I don't, oh well. You'd be literally broken.
I mean, I think it depends, because I mean, this series is always like toed the line on mental illness, right?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the symptoms and the idea of clinical depression as it is, I mean, I don't even know if even after past that breaking point, just from a biological level, I feel like you just wouldn't want to do shit.
Yeah. Which to me was, it made sense why the whole, half hour of the movie, he's lay there. He didn't want to do anything.
Because I mean,
he want to eat, he was just there.
Yeah, because I've always felt like that's like a normal chronic symptom of what you would consider to be, clinical depression, right? Because there's chemicals in the brain that's not doing shit. You just don't want to do shit.
I know you're also a little past clinical depression at this point.
No, I know. Obviously,
this is parts where you get serial killers in real life.
Yeah.
Is after shit like this hits the fan, is when you go off and just kill people because you're like, human life means nothing now.
He wasn't a sociopath.
Yeah, but I'd
that's
say
what you get. If you want to go into it, I guess that's what you get. You murderers.
Yeah, because you've been pushed far enough from your clinical depression into social.
I mean, sure, but no, but like sociopathic tendencies are something that are ingrained into your DNA as is anyway. It's like I mean, it is like dissociative, disorder and all that is a mental illness. It is imbalances of chemicals in the brain that aren't firing right. And I mean, Shinji is Ava's the extreme. It's the extreme of everything, right? That's what Evangelion. That's what Evangelion is.
From the beginning has been super extreme.
Yeah, it's what Evangelion is. It's just like you take any concept and it is the absolute extreme of what that is. Yeah. And I feel like that's what Shinji is. He's just the absolute extreme of what that is. True. As like Asuka's her own extreme of attention seeking or ego. Yeah. Whatever's
or God complex.
Yeah, or Rei's the extreme of submissiveness and all that stuff. That's just what every character named Evangelion is. It's just the absolute extreme of everything. Right. Which I mean, concepts don't always a great character make.
Well, you're extremely depressed the whole time. It just makes you like Go cheer up. There's like 3 people that are patting you on the back saying, you're doing good. Go do shit. And he was like, nah, I'm good. See, if he wasn't being pushed by like 4 other characters saying, you're doing pretty good. You're likable.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does that half the time anyway. The first 2 movies, like, you're okay. You can go. You don't have to go on, but you should. And he's like, no, I don't want to. It's like, okay, we'll go kill ourselves.
Also, this whole series is like the embodiment of Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if something can go wrong, it will.
It will go wrong constantly.
Oof.
But that's why we have clones, because every time something does go wrong, we can just reclone another
Make
one.
another one.
Even better. Fucking Shinji should always be in the robot, because if he dies, you just clone him. It seems easy as fuck. How many Asukas are there? How many Reis were there?
Rei was always in the robot. As
Easy.
we find out at the end of the movie.
Yeah. So what the fuck's wrong with Shinji? He's like, if I die, there'll be another one of me.
I don't think he
GG.
thinks that way. But
Lazy bastard.
I don't think he thinks that way.
Everybody else was like, fuck it. You know, if I die, who cares at this point?
I mean, it's interesting when you look at these characters. Well, no, it's also interesting that you look at how Shinji becomes a catalyst for some people's acceptance that is just not a thing in the original run.
No,
right?
like the
like
two
at
girls.
like at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Those are best girls. They had brains.
yeah. because well, it's interesting because I think in the original run, Asuka doesn't really achieve that like sense of she doesn't get past her hurdles until like seconds before she dies in End of Evangelion. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what pushes her forward in that scene and what makes it so good.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's interesting that like Shinji kind of becomes that catalyst for her to overcome those hurdles instead of just her lying at the bottom of an ocean getting bombarded by shit. Listening to her dead mom's voice come from her Ava.
That's spicy.
You've been here the
Spicy.
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Spicy.
I mean, it's just interesting how they do that and how, you know, he becomes that thing for Rei, how he becomes that thing for his dad. I mean, I do like what they did to Shinji at the end of this movie.
I thought at the end he was good.
Yeah. I mean, it takes, you know...
It takes 6.5 hours.
Well, I mean, if you really want to think about it, it takes him a lot longer than that
About
to get
12.
to get to this
Well, if
point.
you're counting the TV show and the movie, yeah.
Because he never changes. Because I don't really feel like he ever changes in the films. I don't remember how End of Evangelion ends, like fully. I remember like the trippy shit before the ending.
They end. That's when he chokes her out. Because they're about to. He decides to, well, in my interpretation, to not go with the project.
Yeah.
And it's just him and Asuka left by themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
And he chokes her out. And that's how it ends.
That's
And you're
right.
like, what the fuck?
That's right. I forgot about that. Well, I know that scene. I forgot it was there.
Yeah. And then, you know, in the show, he just kind of goes through, like, he does change at the last episode where he accepts everything that's happened to him and what he has to change and what he has to do to cancel the project or whatever.
Is that where you get the whole, like,
And congratulations.
Okay. The
when
congratulations scene.
You surpass all your bullshit.
Yeah.
Here's your new person or what you learned.
Yeah. So in other words, I mean, there's never really like a clear, definitive, like a finish to his arc in the original run. I feel like, at least, because trying to unpack those last 2 episodes of the original series is just impossible. But I don't feel like there's any clear, definitive like. Look, he finally got over his shit like everybody else did until like this movie, which I felt very refreshing. And if anything of this movie that I really liked what they did story-wise, I feel like that would be, in my opinion, like the best part of what came out of this.
I think everyone got a happy ending, even his dad. You know, and then her mom like pushing Shinji out of the way before shit happened, and nice scene.
Yeah.
No,
The ending made no sense to me.
It made no goddamn sense. Like, what the fuck? Why would you end up with worst girl?
No, yeah, that one's weird to me.
Where the fuck is No, not worst girl. Second worst girl.
Second worst girl.
Where is Rei's worst girl?
Ray's worst girl.
Oof. Okay.
You think submissive bitch is best or second best girl?
No, to me, best girl is Misato.
Misato's always been best
I agree
girl.
with
Best
that.
girl,
But I don't know. It's just weird because it's like they showed everyone get together. Asuka's just gone. She was like, well, hey,
It's
she's
true.
a gone character.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd she go?
Well, it's like it has that. I mean,
it's
there's
not like you can say, like, oh, she died, so she won't be there anymore. It's like, motherfucker, the other 2 are dead too. Where did they come from? And you can be like, oh, they're clones. Asuka's a clone too.
That was a weird one because I thought I just didn't see her, but I don't think she's there. She's just not there in that last final.
well, you do
scene.
have that little callback to like the ocean part, and then
and her
instead
there.
of choking her, he's like, "Hey, you know, I liked you too back then," and she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know, blushing or whatever, and then she's just gone
Yeah.
forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Forever.
I
He
guess.
doesn't go to school anymore, I guess, you know.
I don't
The
know.
weird, that was just weird to me, the ending scene. I'm like,
So I mean, so like, if you watch the show and you were into like shipping characters, you will be disappointed.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, even if you're watching the
Ooh.
movies and you're shipping characters, I mean, who shipped Mari and Shinji? Like,
no one.
Who did this?
I didn't even think
No one
fucking.
did this.
I never thought of Mari as like a love interest to Shinji.
I didn't
thought she
either.
was just like what's it called a playable character. She's very just always hyper with
and
them
technically,
and stuff.
she's probably as old as his dad.
Oh, we learned
That's
that
so
she's
true,
not a
yeah.
teenager. She's like because she was a double agent. And she
Oh
was,
yeah,
Because she's in
yeah,
the
yeah.
she's in the Gendo flashback.
Yeah.
she was one of the doctors.
She's like 40.
She developed the LCL liquid or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why
So
she
she's
never ages.
Yeah, she's like immortal.
But I feel like you never think of her. I never thought of her as that. Like I couldn't
No.
even see the other one, the purple haired one. I forgot her name real quick. The scientist one who dies at the end.
Misato.
Yeah, Misato.
Yeah,
I could see them
Yeah,
two
yeah,
together
yeah.
because they had that playability. It's
I
weird.
mean, they do have the kiss in an
Yeah.
Evangelion, but
As I said, it's weird, but I do see
Yeah.
that. Did not see that one coming from a mile away.
No.
Like even in this picture, it's like it's framed where it's supposed to be like, oh, they're like the couple there. It's like what the fuck?
I did like the every time she would come from behind and kill.
Yeah.
Like, who am I? Big boobs,
Big boobs.
Yeah.
glasses, parachute.
That was a good car.
Yeah.
Good
favorite
callback.
type of character design. It's personal favorite.
Is it Megan is or whatever?
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy.
It's a personal favorite. But, I mean, her character's not my favorite. What I hate is most characters that are like that are never my favorite characters in those shows.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
It's just like guilty pleasure.
yeah, because I love Monogatari, right?
Yeah.
But like, what's her face? Oh, Hanekawa, right?
Yeah.
Is that design? And I think her design is great, but she's nowhere near my favorite character in that show.
Yeah. I find her as a fine character.
Yeah.
I just never thought
No,
of her
I
as
never
that.
thought of that in a
I'm
million
just
years.
like, she's just a playful girl. You know,
I mean,
she's having fun wherever she can.
It's
Crazy.
like this movie tried to set it up a little bit, not great, but like tried. But I'm like, but there's no precedent. She's in movie 2. That's when she's
Yeah.
introduced. Is movie 2.
He meets her for like a second because
Yeah.
she lands on him. Just
Yeah.
badge first into his face.
like every girl from the sky comes from.
And then she like, oh yeah, with the fucking parachute.
Yeah,
Parachute.
that's where they get the parachute.
Yeah. But I mean,
Because I remember in movie 3.
because there's no interaction.
Yeah.
Because he's with Kawaru the entire time.
Yeah. Because
and
the only
she's with the other
interaction,
chicks.
even in 4, all you see is when she blindfolds him and says, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
I got the big boobs with the glasses.
He's like, oh yeah, parachute girl.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, they met for like 20 seconds in that one movie. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and that's it. God, man.
I don't know.
Well, maybe what happened is in the future. So she goes in the chamber where she freezes for 14 years, and he ages. So they're the same age at the end.
What I didn't get also was that he reset the world where there's no Evas, there's no angels
Yeah.
or anything, but he
And
still has that collar.
Yeah.
And she takes it off.
And one of them comes out of the Eva at the end. Which is it her?
What?
Yeah, when it lands.
Yeah, and
oh,
the
yeah,
other-
it comes out of
it's
the
her,
Ava,
it's her. Yeah, it's
and then
her.
the Ava disappears, and
Yeah.
you're like, I thought the Avas were gone. What the fuck is happening?
Well, I mean, that's probably in the process of the reset, right? It's like the snap. I
It's
guess.
slowly dissolving.
I don't know how this works, dude. I do not know the parameters.
I don't understand the antiverse.
Yeah.
And then all the people that died at the end of the movie was really depressing to me. When they're all flying from space and they hit the floor, you're like, oh man.
It's like what's it called? It's like that scene in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the whale.
Yeah.
When the whale appears, and there's that whole section where he's having an existential crisis before he hits the ground and dies.
I pictured it. Oh fuck! I forgot the thing. Never mind. Yeah, never mind.
I don't know. The end of these movies,
Oh.
I don't know how I felt about that.
I'm picturing. So like, in Avengers, the snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he snaps them, do they come back on the same spot they were before? On Earth?
I don't know. They fell from the sky.
No, in the snap.
Oh,
Yeah, they came back where they left.
So they would be in the middle of space, wouldn't they be? Because, the Earth rotates and the fucking universe rotates.
oh my.
So they would just be like, and then die from lack of oxygen. Realistic, my dude.
I mean, well, that makes you wonder, right? Like, because does
Going on another planet.
well, does the space infinity stone and does the snap, does it give you like
Teleporting
enough
powder.
yeah, like does it
Teleport them all back there.
well, like does it give you like enough like fine tuning control where when someone is snapped, they're not tethered to a point in space, but they're tethered to like a point on the like whatever they were standing on.
So an original coordinate.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, hey, just do.
Well, not like a coordinate like in 3D space, but a coordinate on.
It'd be a coordinate
like a
so
planet.
fucking small.
Yeah.
The scale would be immense.
Yeah, so you like you bamf them out and they just tether to a point, like they tethered to something else that's moving in space,
See,
so they can come back in
I
that
think
space.
what should have happened is they're actually there forever. So like they're invisible, but you walk in, you're like, there's something here.
Wait a minute. You know when they snap back, where did Spider-Man like appear? Did he go back to that planet that they escaped from? Because that's where he died.
Oh,
No.
that's true.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
he just moved back with the group.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, it would be him and a couple other guys, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had a couple other guys with him. They might have been able to like, hitch a ride and go back to Earth, right?
Imagine being on an airplane.
Well, no, because he dies with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, in that planet.
On the planet.
On a random planet.
I know, but he's with Doctor Strange.
Oh, he
No,
can
I guess
teleport.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
okay.
But he's with Doctor Strange.
Okay. I can give you that.
I mean, if they both came back, they'd be like, "Well, this is interesting. We're back on Earth."
Magic powers. Yeah, let's go back, Dave.
What would you
Being
rate it?
assholes. Want me to go first?
I'll go first. 8.5.
8.5.
8.5.
I think it's a 7. There's too much to me that had issues to throw that away.
No, I think with everything on it, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, that's what I kind of pictured.
It's just I mean,
My favorite, number 2, number 3, 4 and 1.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there's a lot of slow stuff in 1 that like.
well, one is just a fancy recolor.
Yeah.
Right? I guess is the best way I would describe it.
Yeah. It's just a...
Well, the first half of the movie, the first movie and the first episodes
Yeah.
are always, I heard, pretty slow in general. So.
But I mean, the first, I feel like, well, I mean, being slow is not really the thing for me. It's just the fact that there was nothing other than its
Nothing
animation.
new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there's
right.
nothing that made it stand out from like the original show run.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 1 is the worst rated on thing. 4 is the highest rated, but I think that's more because of
how recent it is.
Yeah.
recent and
There's recency bias. and
everyone's
then-
like, I love this.
Yeah, everyone's been
show."
waiting for so long. And I mean, it does, especially for longtime fans, I feel like it does provide closure and enough things
Oh, yeah.
where you feel like it's a very definitive
I
ending.
feel like it closes everything that
Yeah.
was open.
I don't have to think of like, oh, did this really happen? What happened?
Yeah.
Like, nah.
And
And
I-
reset the world, it's fine.
and I feel like that probably skews that too. Well, and I mean, unless an ending's absolute straight garbage, as long as it sticks the landing,
Yeah.
even with its whatever minor grievances, it usually will end up having a higher score than anything before.
I think
I
it sticks the landing. I said the animation was the real big issue for me at the end, but
Yeah, I think everyone had its closures.
Uh-huh.
It tied up pretty neat. Animation, I like the animation, except for the one scene. Well, couple scenes.
there's a lot of scenes I had
There's a few
issues.
scenes that I was like,
So there's some in the beginning-ish, and then the ending was the real big issue in my mind. That fucking face, man,
Oh,
will haunt my memories for the rest
I
of.
actually like that. I don't know if I prefer it over the original.
I don't
but
really prefer it over the original, but I did.
Well, I think the
it was
issue
okay.
is it's like it just looks so like lifelike CG in certain spots, and then the rest of it looked shitty CG. It's like really good lifelike, shitty.
Well, it's like it's so uncanny.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, I think it's purposely meant to be that way,
Oh, yeah.
right? But I think that's what it is. It's just so uncanny when you look at it. You're like,
Nah, I understood what they were going
Yeah.
for. It just like physically scarred me for the rest of my
my
life.
brain is just trying to decide if they just filmed the face and then like
That's
rotoscoped
what
whatever.
I think they
I think
did.
they did that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, we'll put her face on top of yours, and hopefully it works out.
I wish they had that scene where an Ava coming out of an eye. I wish they would have brought that scene back.
Oh yeah, and
They
then the
almost did
Evangelion.
it. They went the other way.
They almost did.
They went
They
the
went
other
the
way.
other way. They went through the eye with the spear of
This-
Langley, or I guess it would be the other.
Longinus?
The other
No,
spear.
it would be
Spear
the
of
other one.
Cassius or whatever.
No,
No,
the
Justice
the last
or whatever.
one, the
Oh.
fourth spear.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the third
No,
spear's name.
The fucking key.
The Keyblade.
The
Keyblade.
Keyblade.
Yeah. That's what went through the fucking eyeball at the end.
And then it turned into like a keychain
Yeah.
size.
We're like, oh, I got it.
He's like, sweet.
Sweet.
And then it
Mickey
turned,
Mouse is gonna love this in the new game.
and then it turned into like another
Just a
weird
normal spear. It just turned into a normal
Well,
lance almost.
Yeah,
at
it's
that
like a
point.
lance with like a weird handle in the middle.
Yeah.
I thought the second or third spear was garbage though,
The second one was just basic. The second spear had like that weird broad tip.
because that's the one that he transformed from the spear
Yeah.
of Longliness. Or
The second spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That spear to me is like one of the best designs
It's
for
so
a
good.
weapon.
Uh-huh.
And then they just were like, kick. And I'm like, oh no, you fucked it. It was so cool.
My favorite scene was when to Rei, they're like, hey, you should try some new clothes, and in my mind, I'm like, please bring the fucking
The school
the
outfit.
school outfit back. And
I thought
did.
they were gonna bring everyone with the school outfit. Now my favorite scene was when Asuka was sleeping.
Ah,
that was my
shit.
favorite scene.
That was
I
a good-
think.
That was a good scene. That was a good scene.
No, I think actually my favorite battle scene had to be at the beginning. I think
Yeah,
the
the
first
beginning's really
scene was really clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you got any
Yeah.
favorite scene?
I don't think they had that many fight scenes. I can only think
No,
of
it was like
3.
the beginning one. Was there one in the middle?
No, it was
No.
the beginning, and then the one where they're falling into the.
Yeah,
Mm,
with
That
the
scene was-
logo.
with the other
Yeah,
ships.
that scene was
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then
And then the
went
shitty
to
one.
se-
And then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, two-thirds of the fight scenes were pretty good.
66% or
Yeah,
not
yeah.
bad, not bad.
Some would argue that's passing, not in college, but in in high school. When it matters, I guess. But yeah, it was a good movie. I'm happy it wrapped it up, so I don't have to
Yeah.
wait another 10 years.
10 years.
I hope there's a 10-year movie or another movie 10 years from now
Anniversary.
where it's just them going to school. It's just a fucking school.
It's almost like that one Fate show, the cooking one,
Yeah. That's what
Oh,
where
what it
everyone's
is.
happy. It is just nice and it's funny.
That's what it should be.
there is a light novel of Evangelion, but it's like completely weird.
Oh yeah,
But
I saw that.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but it looks
Uh-huh.
interesting. There is a side story, not side story, like a spin-off.
Well,
I mean,
there is side
bootleg
story.
version.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, it's
hi-
just them in high school.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Hideaki Anno has said too that he's like he has other ideas for stories in the universe that he might touch in some point in the
Yeah.
future.
He's gonna die by then.
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
How old is he now? Fucking 60?
I mean, right now, I'm just excited for his movies.
That's
coming
true.
out.
I can't wait for his movies to come out.
I'm so excited. So
Shin-
excited.
King Kong?
Oh,
No.
dude, Shin King Kong. Fuck yeah. Tell me a better character that could fight King Kong. There's none.
Ultraman.
King Kong versus
Ultraman.
Ultraman. Yeah. It would be the Great Ape War. I can't wait.
But yeah, Shin Ultraman and then Shin Kamen Rider. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's interesting he's also doing Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
It makes sense, like via the
The
Toho and stuff. But it's definitely interesting to see that he's going to put out a new movie.
You know when that comes out?
Kamen Rider is next year. Ultraman's this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Shin Ultraman's supposed to be this year.
Yeah.
Which makes me very excited. It looks so good. It just, I mean, Shin Godzilla was so good. It was so great.
I think it's probably one of the best Godzilla movies
It's my
of all
favorite
time.
Godzilla movie.
Because, like, I love the old ones, but they had the campy feel.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
that
Yeah.
movie, it was just good.
Yeah, I might.
Like, it wasn't over the top like some of the new ones. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the English ones are just like, look, it's Godzilla. He's going to destroy everything constantly, and that's
Yeah.
what it's going to be about.
I don't think Americans know how to make a good monster movie.
Did you
like
not
a
see,
big like kaiju movie.
did you
you
not
know?
see
movie.
Rampage?
I mean, I feel like well, it's funny because my favorite Godzilla movies would be probably the original.
The
and
2000? Yeah.
Yeah, the original English one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
no, the original, 1950, 1960, like Godzilla, and then Shin.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the best kaiju, like I mean, sometimes people just want to watch big monsters fight each other,
Yeah,
and I
of course.
understand that.
Pacific Rim too. I do agree with that.
But
Best
I
kaiju
do
movie.
feel like the best kaiju movies are social commentaries, but but very
Yeah.
like not like
It's not just
over your
heavy,
face
yeah.
heavy. It's just
Yeah.
like it's the subtle ones, because the original Godzilla, that is what it is, right? It's the Japanese fear of nuclear annihilation after getting bombed twice.
I wonder why they're scared of it.
And then Shin Godzilla was a social commentary on Japanese bureaucracy, just with, the problem, instead of being, a standard natural disaster, it's
Yeah.
Godzilla. And I feel like those are like some of the best versions of that. I mean, like I love, the big monsters as much as Godzilla. Godzilla versus Bioland is one of my favorites. And it's also a weird social
I
commentary
remember
one.
that one.
It's like a plant monster.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have
Yeah.
to look it up.
It has to do with like pollution or some shit, and some plant monster comes from it and fights it. It's one of the better ones. It's a little later.
Okay.
I mean, I might still have it on VHS. Okay.
Okay.
but-
We'll watch it.
You can find a VHS player.
I have
one.
You have one?
Huh?
Bullshit.
It's at my parents' house
Oh my
The
god.
cables for fucking VHS.
because they left me our collection of VHS tapes.
Oh, dude, you're
Like-
rich, man. You can sell that for like $10.
Because we have
I
all
think.
because we have a lot of like classic Disney movies and
Yeah.
stuff like that
Oh
on cassette.
my god.
I remember having
And
that
yeah,
collection.
it's all there, like the my
I have
original
that too.
cassette of Jurassic Park and everything. It's all there, and that was one of the cassettes I had.
Yeah.
Was that Godzilla versus Bioland?
That's pretty dope, actually.
But I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I do feel like kaiju and mechas at its best when it does delve into like those human issues and stuff like that. However bonkers it gets.
Yeah, I'm a mix. So I do like to watch the big rubber suits and the big robots slap each other in the dick every so often. It's pretty fun.
So yeah, they have a happy medium.
Yeah. As I say, you need something good in between.
Happy medium.
You need like 20 minutes of dialogue, few slaps to the dick, 20 minutes of dialogue.
I think the slap to the dick is what makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You hear the ding ding, like that. He's got a metal dick.
Uses that as a weapon.
Yeah, when they pull out the sword, like, shh.
Yep.
My god.
What is this, fucking Spaceballs?
Yep.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
I'm thinking, like, those movies that make fun of other movies, like superhero movie or like
Yeah.
scary movies.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
like that, but they make fun of kaiju movies. They haven't made one of those yet.
I don't think there's enough. Well, I mean, there's a shit ton of kaiju movies.
Wait, I thought
but
there
I don't,
was.
I don't,
Wasn't Godzilla versus King Kong that?
Shit, I thought Rampage was.
Well,
Rampage was
Rampage
that.
might be that. Rampage is a funny movie.
you guys ever play
But
like
it's not
Destroy
good.
All Monsters?
Yes.
What?
It's basically Rampage,
Yeah.
except, game form. Yeah. It's a good game.
Well, Rampage is a game.
No, I guess Rampage was the original,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then Destroy All Monsters
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I like Rampage. Fun
Yeah.
game.
Do you have any news for us this week?
Oh, I have multiple things. We'll do news first, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about something.
Okay.
So, I don't know what article you were talking about, unless it was the same one. Sony now owns Crunchyroll.
Oh, that
Yep.
one.
So that means
Yep.
Funimation and Crunchyroll merged, which I don't know.
Do you think this is bad?
I don't think it's bad. I think it's
I think it's terrible.
good. You think? Why do you think it's terrible?
Because Funimation fucking fucks anime over.
I don't know. I think they both suck. I think they're both bad
Yeah.
companies. Because Crunchyroll never fixes their shit.
Oh, their
Funimation-
website is awful.
Yeah. Funnimation's website's way better, but they also do have issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do wonder if they're going to be still two separate companies, basically.
I think
And
they'll
then-
merge eventually.
I don't think they will, because that's just a shit ton of loss of money. Because imagine, like me, I own fucking Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Yeah.
So if you say Crunchyroll has 1 million accounts, right?
Yeah.
That's $5 million. Funimation has 1 million accounts. That's $5 million a month. Now they merged to one,
Yeah.
and it's still $5. That's $5 million of lost revenue per
Yeah, but
month.
then you'd be a dick if you own both companies and you charge all your customers
Sony.
twice.
It's Sony.
I think what they'll end up doing, and I guess probably their better way of doing this, because you can still make up some of that revenue.
I think they can merge them together.
The price is going to go up. I think.
Because then you have
Well,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
So either the
licenses
price
or
will go
whatever.
up, or they'll do like Verve has, which is Verve is Crunchyroll owned, and it's a way better system. Like they don't really have
Yeah, yeah,
issues because they update that. They don't update Crunchyroll anymore.
Oh, no.
They're just
They
like
do
fuck
all
you.
Verve, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they'll attach it to Verve, which is
Uh-huh.
$15 a month. So if you get that, so you get Crunchyroll, High Dive, and
What
Funimation.
the fuck is High Dive?
High Dive. If you want to watch ecchi shows,
Oh
you
my
watch it.
They're on High Dive.
Is that where you watch a redo of Healer?
Yeah, like it's all uncensored stuff. Like the new show, I think, is on there.
Oh, the Dank Nasty.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then I think Two Love Rue's on there right now. Like the
Love Ru.
uncensored
Two Love
version.
Ru
Yeah.
would
So
be on
everything
there.
you want to
Yeah.
watch, it's basically a porn website for that. So that's why I said if they merge all that
like
together,
15
is not bad.
17 plus.
Yeah,
But not mature
they
yet.
have
Sure.
they have the two versions. They have the I think they call it fog version
Oh
and
my
unfogged
God.
version.
That's so funny.
But if they do that, that'll be interesting to see what they do. And then I have something. I don't know if you guys want to say anything.
I mean, the only for
I
that
know you said you had something.
I do. Well, this is going to be more for next week for a movie that comes out next week.
Because
So-
my thing's about a movie that we all have to watch next
Yeah,
week.
because we're going to watch Premonitions, right?
Yeah.
So they made a promo because the movie's about technology and stuff like that, right?
Sure, yeah.
So they have a promo on their website, and you can go in and put a photo of your face, and
I want this.
it gets what's it called? It gets what's the name of that bot? Oh my
Siri.
gosh!
Hey
No.
Siri, subscribe to Toddy Rap on Amazon,
It
Apple.
was Amazon deepfake. It deepfakes your face into like scenes of the movie.
I don't want that.
Using an AI, so you could be in like and I heard it's pretty good.
Is it
Like
really?
even with just your face, it can get a little wonky, but it's pretty good at doing it.
Shit.
So what happens if you're not the same skin tone as the actor? Was it just like really awkward? Like,
I don't know, but I thought it was so cool when I saw that because that was like one of their promotional materials, letting people like
I don't
deepfake
want
themselves.
deepfake themselves into this movie.
I don't want that, but I'll probably do it because secretly I probably want that.
Dude, and then people are like, no, the government is gonna steal my identity, and then you do it for free. Like, yeah, take my information, take my
Yeah.
face.
It happens anyway.
They're sending it to China.
Yeah.
That's what Snapchat or whatever the other
TikTok?
ones. TikTok was doing. But okay, my news is, so, you know how I said this season we'll start catching up on shit. New stuff is coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
This
see so
season-
much shit.
This season's kind of not great in my
It's
opinion.
really hard to keep up. I
don't
think
feel like
I'm
there's-
watching like 3 shows, and that's it.
I'm watching more, but a lot of it I can speed run because
Oh.
either it's not good or I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I've watched a lot of shit. So
Is speed running watching?
yes,
Okay.
I'm still watching it. I get like
Yeah.
90% of the fucking information. But well, if you mean from the shows this season, probably not. Your show's one of those, by the way.
I'm so behind.
I'm right there,
I haven't started your show.
and he won't.
won't?
And he won't.
I'm watching his both
of
both
mine.
of his.
I only watching one. I dropped the other one.
Oh, did you?
The other one's
one?
ass.
The PA Works one.
Yeah.
Why do we even fucking do this? You just drop. I'm not watching your show anymore. Then fuck it.
You're watching
I'm a
both of
speedrunner.
his
I'm watching everyone's fucking show,
and then mine.
I'm watching that one.
Yeah.
I'm watching girlfriend at
You actually are.
a speed run of.
I watched it at his house. You'd be like, boring, going,
I like this
going.
girl.
Yeah.
There's
They
like
didn't read
one.
10 seconds of dialogue. Okay,
There's like
boring.
1.5 girls that are really good,
Yeah.
and then I just like speed run.
Oh my
Like there's this
God.
purple girl. She's just a super daddy character, super boring, and I'm like, I don't care about her story. But I watched Demon Slayer.
You did?
Yeah, so I got watch.
Speed running?
No, I didn't skip it.
You went through the whole thing,
I went through the whole thing.
so we got to watch the movie.
Yeah, so I gotta watch the movie.
Ah.
It is Vampire Hunter. It's the same fucking
I know,
movie.
I
It's the
know.
guy- same thing.
Yeah,
Watch Vampire Hunter too.
it's Lincoln. It's Lincoln Fire
Pretty good
Hunter.
show, though. I actually rated it high, even though it's a shonen garbage.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know the first season's ass?
The first half of the season's
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
That's what really screwed up the score.
Uh huh.
That's
gave
why
it-
I dropped it, the original run. Like,
Yeah.
that is boring as hell.
I gave it an 8.
Nice. Wow.
That's
It would have
pretty
been like
high
a
for
9,
Forrest
9 and a
standards.
half.
But there was that
But
first.
that first season is garbage.
It's garbage.
It's garbage.
It's so bad.
And if that wasn't there, so it would have been 9. If that was the whole show, it would have been a 4. So that's how you can see how much the second season or second half of this show.
Second
saved
season, it just carries it.
Oh yeah,
Well, I feel like it's I mean, if we're
It's technically
speaking
all
like
one
manga
season.
wise, right?
Yeah.
It's like from then onwards,
is nonstop.
It just goes.
That's why I want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I probably think the movie's good. I thought it was good animation, good characters.
Oh yeah.
I do wish they talked about the what are the step above, like they're not grandmaster fighters, but they're below the master.
Oh, the upper ones.
Yeah.
That's from here on out.
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I either wish they didn't put him in fully
Yeah.
or explain more about him, because it was like,
It was
here's
just a
these
hint.
characters, and
Yeah.
they're like, they're all dicks, except maybe this one because they talked about it, and you're like,
they're dicks,
oh, okay.
but they're overpowered or
Yeah.
whatever. That's
Yeah.
it.
And
And I don't know why he didn't rank up yet in like the first season when he fucking almost killed one of the 12.
but because that's the lower 12. There's
Yeah,
more
but
OP
he didn't
demons.
rank up to like the next ranking.
No, he doesn't.
He's
He
like,
didn't-
you're still basic bitch.
Yeah,
You
he
almost killed these strong ass fuckers.
He's not even a tuning.
No, that's what I said. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
yeah, he doesn't get
Whatever.
there yet. But that's something that it goes a lot more in depth from here on out.
Yeah. Which I think the next
Yeah.
stuff will be amazing.
From here to its end.
That's what I'm hoping for, Jujutsu Kaisen, since it built up all that garbage to get somewhere. I hope that the
It
next
does the same
seasons are
thing.
really good.
What that what's that? There's that town, and it's like all the fashion stuff. Shibuya.
Oh, let's say what country are we talking about? Shinjuku?
Shinjuku. The Shinjuku arc. It's real good.
In which
In
one?
Yeah,
Jujutsu?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's sad.
Yeah,
When the
that's the
show
hope.
comes out, I'll watch
That's the
it.
hope. So you got the experience, the hype of episode 19
Yeah.
in all of its beauty.
I'm telling you, I really liked the animation style they chose with the when they would do the fight scenes. I guess what you want to call it, when they would add like the weird water effects, or the lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy, by the way.
Which guy?
The lightning dude.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a bitch.
Yeah.
He's
Fuck him.
He's fucking Shinji. Annoying.
Except
I don't want to do it. I'm asleep.
I'm asleep.
I kill people now. And you're like,
I kill everybody.
he's cool right here.
He gets
He's
better,
bitch everywhere.
but he's still annoying. He's still annoying, but he gets better.
His backstory though.
Oh.
Wait, did I talk about it in the show?
No,
Oh,
no.
I'm like, did I miss it?
No.
Like, I don't remember.
No. It's coming up.
'Cause I remember they talked a little bit about his story.
Yeah.
And I don't think they talked much about the double-sworded guy.
No, they
No.
don't. His doesn't come up very often, though.
Nah, it's not that.
No.
I don't feel like
His is not
he's-
very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's
there
just-
for
yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, that's all
He is what he is.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is when he gets his new blaze and he just starts beating it with a rock.
He is introduced to Best Girl, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I've been introduced
Yeah.
to Best Girl.
Uh-huh.
Which one?
Shinobu's Best Girl.
The butterfly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The butterfly chick, yeah.
I was gonna say it's either her, Nezuko, or
I mean, Nezuko's great, too.
But she's not best girl material though.
Yeah.
or the quiet one.
Yeah, the other.
The other butterfly.
Yeah, the other butterfly.
She's cool,
pretty
too.
good too.
I like her by the end. I like her a lot by the
Oh
end.
yeah, yeah.
The other
Yeah,
the
I
other
like her a
ones
lot by
that
the
you
end.
see are pretty just crazy.
Oh, I know, yeah.
That
The one-
that pink hair.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude.
She's like, he's so cute. He's so cute. I'm like, oh my god, I understand this character. But it's a good show.
It's great. It's like
I'm happy I spent. Or not, I'm
Yeah.
happy I watched 26 episodes in 2 weeks.
Jesus.
That's all I watched.
just
I go
binging
home
through
and I'm
Demon
like-
Slayer.
Okay, here we go. 5 more episodes.
Surprised you didn't speed run it.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I feel like it's a show that you do. Well, the beginning. I mean, you
can
know,
just skip it.
You kind of have that.
You watched the first episode.
Well,
and
it's
second.
it's kind of weird. It's like almost a training arc.
Yeah.
Well, the first episode I think is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super story,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really good. And then second through like sixth
Uh-huh.
is like a weird training arc, not training arc. And it doesn't give you much information
No.
either. It's very just like spin your tires, and then it picks up, and then picks up, and then it goes.
And then it just launches out
Yeah.
the gate. Yeah.
So-
And then it doesn't stop.
Yeah. So, that's a good show. And
And it just gets more epic. Which
I do wanna watch the movie.
Season
The
2 is
movie-
announced now too.
yeah, from the end of season 1 to the movie looks really good because the character that he's fighting in the new one looks interesting. I don't know if I care for the red guy so far at the moment, but I only see him for 2 seconds. He just seems like another asshole.
Best asshole.
Best
Is he
asshole.
best asshole?
Best asshole.
Not the snake guy or the one that fucking stabbed Nezuko like 12 times. He's not best asshole.
No, that's not best
Oh,
asshole.
okay. They're just assholes.
They're just regular
I'm trying to
chads.
remember. I'm trying to remember the one that stabbed him. That's the one with the brother, right?
Yes.
I mean,
think.
that backstory is pretty. I mean, that whole back end of the manga is something else.
I'm not gonna look it up. So when I wrote this show, it's One Punch Man, the dark version.
What?
Because One Punch Man is 99% about the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's what this show is basically. It's like, here's the backstory of every bad guy you fight.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's literally One Punch Man, but dark. if One
With
Punch
vampires.
Man, if One Punch
With
Man
demons.
had darkness, that like these bad guys had dark backstories of why they became bad guys, it would be fucking demons.
Do you like Michael Jackson as the main bad guy?
Michael Jackson's the boss, dude.
When he came up, I was like, that guy looks familiar. But yeah,
Attacks children.
Especially at the end.
text. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Especially that last scene with him at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
He goes, he.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I said was, I love the show, the sides where they show demons and the humans.
Yeah.
The pain that the demons have to face from becoming a demon. And then I wrote, it's One Punch Man. It's One Punch Man.
It's Ufu Table, man. Ufu Table makes some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just as an animation studio, top tier. I think they're like one of those studios that are just like almost like honed and almost like perfected CG and stuff.
Yeah.
They're fake CG.
Yeah. Because eventually, I mean, if we ever go through the Heaven's Feel movies, that's kind of how that is as well.
One day.
One day.
Before we finish, I just want to bring up something I read this week.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a Batman manga
Okay.
where,
Does,
Batman and Joker.
Taiwan-
Is it called Batmanga?
No. It's Batman and Joker fighting.
Oh, no.
Batman falls into this like pit of liquid.
Yeah.
Becomes a baby. But because, Batman is no longer Batman, Joker races the baby to become Batman eventually so they can fight it out again.
Interesting.
So, the Joker realizing that it's so expensive to raise a baby stops being the Joker to become a dad. It's so great.
What did you find?
It just came out.
Are you
on
sure it's
one
not
of the-
like fan service?
No,
Like-
it just came out on one of the Japanese like manga magazines.
Uh-huh.
It looks promising.
It's funny.
Can't wait for
Why?
the rest.
No, I'll talk about it later.
All right, thanks for listening to another episode.
Remember, you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, almost anywhere you can listen to your podcasts. I want to make sure that all the people know that are listening to on either platform that you can watch us. If you want to see our ugly faces, we are on YouTube.
Review us, sell for DS or shit.
Yeah, give us 5 stars. If we get 5 stars, we should be that people. I'll read them. I'll read our 5-star reviews.
Our 5-star reviews. But yeah, watch the movie.
Support
great.
us.
Watch the movie.
Watch it.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon
or you
Prime.
can bootleg it, I guess.
Yeah, it's up
It's
to
on
you.
Prime.
But
Everyone
Prime.
owns Prime. Come on.
Yeah, or you know someone that owns Prime.
Yeah.
Watch it all together.
Watch
Even
it.
if
Watch
they-
all 4 of them.
No, just watch the last one. Even if you've only seen all 3 of them and they haven't seen any, they'll understand it by the end.
Yeah, dude, you have a 7-minute recap at the beginning.
That's all you need.
That's all I needed. At max speed of Mach 5 of subtitles.
Yeah, get all your friends together, watch it in a dark room, have a seizure party.
Have a seizure. See who has epilepsy.
Yeah, that's how you find out. Support our Etsy page, stickers.
It's all down. The links
Get
all
our
work.
Evangelion stickers.
Those are the only ones that sell.
Hey.
The yellow ones.
No, just buy the Ava ones. Fuck it. We'll be the one sticker company.
Just say your name. All right, see you next week.
See ya. Bye.